Let's compare the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Rey Jedi Training Force FX lightsaber hilt to a Roman Props Flashgun 7 converted. And let's see what some of the different design elements are. So the Hasbro one is over here and the Roman Props one is over here. So let's bring these a little closer to the camera. Looking at the top, we could start with the bunny ears. So the bunny ears are a little wider on the Roman Props one. And the profile this way, a lot of the elements match up pretty well. So like this area here, you do a side by side, it looks fairly similar. Now back over here to the kind of button portion. So the button on the Roman Props one, you can press, and the one on the Hasbro lightsaber you can't. And you can see there's a little more spacing kind of in the button area than there is here. This portion of it looks pretty similar. This kind of metal piece here is a bit wider on the Hasbro one. Now you have some of the kind of writing on this Hasbro one. It's these disclaimers like this device complies with FCC whatever, and you could peel that off if you want. And same with kind of some of these other stickers. But if you look past that, over here, kind of in the sleeve, you have this area is almost identical, and the kind of box area also looks very, very similar from the side, although this kind of ridge is a bit thinner on the Roman Props one. Once you get to this piece, it looks very different. So this kind of looks more golden on the piece here, and this one looks a little more greenish. So that's kind of a big visual difference between the two. And on this side, it's still looking pretty similar. Similar lines here to here, and this clip is also very, very similar. Now, when you get to the grip portion, so let's see, we can put that side by side, and you can see in the area with the screw, the piece right here, there's kind of a little more of a gap on the Roman Props version. And the material used on the grips is also very different. So the Roman Props kind is, it feels like plastic, and the Force FX lightsaber, it seems like it's plastic too, but it has almost a softer feel to it. So I don't know how to describe it, kind of a softer feeling plastic maybe. And okay, if we go to the bottom, you can tell right away they use different D-rings. So the Roman Props one uses kind of the larger D-ring and the kobold kind of mount. And then here's the smaller D-ring on the Hasbro one. And the stuff on the bottom is also different. You know, this has all the like Hasbro copyright stuff. And this has kind of some of the graphics things on it. I think it, yeah, cell. I'd have to, you know, undo this to fully explore that. But this kind of gives you an overview. Oh, I think I did not look at the glass eye. That's something that people always like to look at. So the glass eye on the Roman Props one is another button, which is kind of neat. You can press that. On the Hasbro one, it's not. And it's definitely glassier on, you can see that right here. This is more opaque on the Hasbro one. And the Roman Props one is kind of reflective and glassier, almost, I don't know, like a marble. And you can see that the ring is thicker, kind of the brass coloring. It's thicker on the Hasbro one than it is on the Roman Props. With the Hasbro one, that doesn't move at all. With the Roman Props one, it kind of, there's a little wiggle to it. I think that covers most of the main stuff. And, well, in the current form as well, the Roman Props one, this is just a static hilt. There's no no lightsaber with this. And oh, you can also see on the top, oops, I did not mean to turn that on. let me turn that off. In the top of this one, you can see there's that piece in there. And I remember seeing that in the movie, you know, when Rey is handing the lightsaber to Luke, you can see kind of that portion sticking out. So I think that about covers most of the bases for these two sabers. And they're very similar looking, but you can see some of the differences. And the plastic, I can't convey this visually, but the plastic feels very different on the two sabers too. So anyway, that's just a quick comparison between the two. We have a Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Rey Jedi Training Force FX lightsaber on the left, and this is a Roman Props Flashgun 7 converted and battle worn. So that's one more thing to look at. The saber has a few more blemishes on it. It's very faint. Oh, and one final note, I think you can kind of see the coloring on the sabers is a little different. The metal on the Hasbro one seems kind of brighter and more vibrant, whereas the metal on the Roman Props one is a little more muted. So that would be my final note there.